Eugenie was remarkable in so many different ways. She was obviously a pioneer, a trailblazer. Her life really changed marine science forever. She really opened oceans and knowledges about the oceans to so many people that otherwise never would have had that opportunity. She was a one of a kind. There will never be another Eugenie Clark. She had an innate curiosity. You know, some people just have that. It's part of their DNA, and she had that. And that fascination that she had from her very first visit when she was a little girl to the New York Aquarium, and she looked in and saw the fish in the aquariums through the glass, and she just fell in love with the ocean. And I remember her telling me many, many times that's where she would imagine that she was swimming with those fish. And I think that's where it all started. For many of us, it started with that first encounter with the marine environment at a very early age. When you think about women in science in general, but especially in marine science, and you think about the time that Eugenie started to go into this field, it was post-World War II, a young woman, Japanese American, going into marine science in which you put on wetsuits and go into the water. It wasn't done. It just simply wasn't done. She never let her being a woman get in the way of her following her passion for marine science. Eugenie Clark was called the Shark Lady because of the groundbreaking work that she did with multiple different shark species. And in fact, there are species of shark that are named after Eugenie now in that honor. Early on, she was doing a lot of work with the Department of Defense. This was after World War II, and there was a great deal of concern about military. They found themselves in the water with sharks. And so there was a high priority in the military and DOD to try to find shark repellents, which she did a lot of work in that area. But she also did some incredible work in terms of behavior of sharks, and actually was one of the first to demonstrate that sharks are not these stupid, mindless creatures that go around just eating forever. When Eugenie was very young, she was working in the Middle East, in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aqaba. And actually that's where the Vanderbilts learned about her, from her exploits being in the National Geographic. The Vanderbilts said, we love what you're doing in the Middle East. We want you to do that here, and we will build you a laboratory. And so that philanthropy was the beginnings of Mote Marine Laboratory. And here at Mote today, we have over 50% of our scientists are women. Well over 50% of our undergraduate and graduate interns that come here are women. And so Eugenie left her mark in a very positive way. And women today really do not have those barriers anymore because of people like Eugenie Clark as a true pioneer in breaking the glass ceilings of marine science for women, including my own daughter, who is a PhD epidemiologist scientist now. So she left a lasting legacy for women in marine science. Philanthropy is the fuel for the innovation, for the freedom to follow your passion in whatever field of science. And it's the science that was built on those three fundamental pillars that started with Eugenie: passion, partnership, and philanthropy. That's what allows us to move forward with the mission that Eugenie Clark started. And I'm honored and very privileged to have been able to have her as a mentor, but also as a friend.